I won't tolerate these delays any longer. We're losing millions every day because of this incompetence.
The most dangerous person in any room is never the person shouting. It is not the one demanding attention, nor the one desperate to prove their intelligence. The most dangerous person is the one who sits in absolute, unwavering silence, watching everything and saying nothing. In the modern world of 2026, we are conditioned to believe that noise equals influence. We are told to find our voice, to speak our truth, and to constantly broadcast our thoughts to the world. But psychology tells a different story. In the realm of high-stakes human interaction, words are a liability. Silence is an asset. Today, we are going to explore the deep, often dark psychology of silence. We will uncover why the smartest people speak the least, and how you can use the power of the pause to dominate your social circle, your career, and your internal life. The psychology of the scarcity principle. To understand why silence works, we must first understand the scarcity principle. In economics and psychology, we value that which is rare. When someone speaks constantly, their words become commodity, cheap, predictable, and easily ignored. They leak information, reveal their insecurities, and eventually, people stop listening because they already know what is coming next. But the silent individual creates a psychological vacuum. When you refuse to fill the air with empty chatter, others feel a subconscious pressure to fill it for you. This is where the power shift happens. In any negotiation or social interaction, the person who speaks first or speaks the most is usually the one seeking validation. By remaining silent, you signal that you do not need the approval of the room. You signal that your internal world is so secure that you have no need to externalize it. This creates a mystery effect. Humans are biologically wired to be curious about the unknown. When you are silent, people begin to project their own thoughts and fears onto you. They wonder what you are thinking. They assume you know more than you do. You become a mirror, reflecting their own projections back at them while remaining untouched yourself. The story of the silent strategist. To illustrate this, let us look at a historical example of how silence can dismantle an empire of noise. In the late 18th century, a high-ranking diplomat was known for being the most effective negotiator in Europe. He wasn't known for his eloquence or his grand speeches. He was known for his uncomfortable pause. During a critical meeting with a rival general who was known for his explosive temper and arrogance, the diplomat sat across the table. The general began to rant, making impossible demands and throwing insults, trying to provoke a reaction. He wanted the diplomat to argue, to get angry, or to defend himself. But the diplomat did nothing. He sat perfectly still. He didn't break eye contact. He didn't even blink. He let the general's words hang in the air like smoke. 30 seconds passed. Then a minute. The silence became deafening. The general, who was used to people arguing back, began to feel a deep, creeping anxiety. In the absence of a reaction, he began to doubt himself. He thought, does he know something I don't? Is my position weaker than I realized? Why isn't he scared? To break the crushing weight of the silence, the general started talking again, but this time he started compromising. He began to take back his insults. He started lowering his demands. By the time the diplomat finally spoke a single sentence, the general had already defeated himself. The diplomat's silence was not a lack of action. It was the most aggressive action he could have taken. He allowed the general's own mind to become his own worst enemy. The 5 rules of strategic silence. If you want to master the psychological weapon in your own life, you must follow the 5 rules of strategic silence. Rule number 1, never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. In an argument, your instinct is to correct people. Suppress it. When someone is lying or digging themselves into a hole, let them finish. The more they speak, the more evidence they provide against themselves. Your silence is the rope they will use to hang their own reputation. Rule number 2, the 5-second rule. In conversation, after someone finishes speaking, do not reply immediately. Wait exactly 5 seconds. In those 5 seconds, 2 things happen. First, you show that you are actually processing what they said, which commands respect. Second, the other person will often feel an urge to keep talking to fill the silence, often revealing their true intentions or extra information they didn't intend to share. Rule number 3. Silence is the best response to an insult. An insult is a hook. The person throwing it is fishing for a reaction. If you get angry, they win. If you defend yourself, they win. But if you look them in the eye and say absolutely nothing, you drain the insult of its power. You make them look small, childish, and out of control. Your silence says, your words are not significant enough to move me. Rule number 4. Use silence to build authority. Watch the most powerful leaders in the world. They don't rush their words. They speak slowly, and they use pauses effectively. A pause before an important point acts like a highlighter in the listener's mind. It builds tension and ensures that when the word finally comes, it is treated as gold. Rule number 5. Guard your secrets like a fortress. People who talk too much eventually betray themselves. They talk about their plans, their dreams, and their weaknesses. In 2026, information is the highest currency. By keeping your mouth shut about your next move, you maintain the element of surprise. Let your success make the noise. Let your process remain in the shadows. The internal power of the quiet mind, beyond social dominance. There's a deeper, more spiritual reason to embrace silence. It is the concept of the inner citadel. When you are constantly talking, your energy is being pushed outward. You are scattered. But when you practice silence, you begin to build an internal strength. You become the observer of your own thoughts. Psychology tells us that the internal dialogue of most people is chaotic. By practicing external silence, you begin to quiet the internal noise as well. You develop emotional intelligence. You learn to respond rather than react. A person who can sit in a room alone in silence for an hour is a person who cannot be easily manipulated by the world. They have found a source of power that doesn't depend on the validation of others. Silence in the digital age. We live in an era where everyone is shouting for a like, a share, or a comment. The digital world is designed to keep you in a state of constant reaction. But notice who is actually winning. The creators and leaders who are truly influential are those who are selective. They don't post every thought. They don't respond to every troll. They understand that attention is a finite resource. If you give it away to everyone, it becomes worthless. Strategic silence in the digital age means knowing when to disappear. It means knowing that you don't owe the world an explanation for your life. The master the pause. As we move forward into a future that will only get louder, your ability to remain quiet will be your greatest competitive advantage. Silence is not the mark of someone who has nothing to say. It is the mark of someone who knows that words are power, and power should never be wasted. It is the mark of someone who has mastered themselves before trying to master the world. So, the next time you find yourself in a heated meeting, a tense argument, or a social gathering where everyone is competing for the spotlight, try an experiment. Speak half as much as you usually do. Observe twice as much as you usually do. And embrace the silence. You will find that the less you say, the more people will listen. You will find that the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. And most importantly, you will find that in the kingdom of noise, the silent man is king. If this lesson resonated with you, leave a comment with the word observed to let me know you made it to the end. And remember, the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure, but the silent one is the one you should watch out for.